Good morning. Just out in the garden here, and today's video I want to kind of show you guys something that is a pretty big and new experience for me gardening, believe it or not. You know, I've been putting videos out on YouTube for over 10 years and have been doing this stuff for about 15 years now, and there's not a lot of things that I've changed that have been major in my journey with growing food up until now. And that's kind of what I want to show you guys today. So check this thing out. This is a super big, not that big, you can get bigger, but this is a electroculture device that's rooted into my garden. What is electroculture? It's actually a very old practice. It goes back, I believe, at least maybe 200 years or more. And it's an idea that you use the Earth's natural resonant frequencies to increase the yield in the garden. Could also be to clear chemtrails out of the sky, though I don't know if this is necessarily going to do that. But yeah, in this video, I got a couple guys here that we've worked out an arrangement where they're going to electroculture my entire garden and my homestead. And this device here right now is part of phase one of this journey. And so these guys build these units and they put them in gardens and other places. And one of them, Spence, is a friend of mine, and we got to talking, and it was like, yeah, okay, well, why don't we do a bunch of this stuff at your garden, and then I can showcase it, and we can figure out if this actually works or not, if this actually does anything, is it measurable? I don't know yet. I do know that this has been around for a long time, and there's a lot of books on it, and it kind of disappeared after World War II, like a lot of things. And it seems to me like it was one of these things that humanity was doing in commonplace that disappeared. And with sort of these resets that we have, where a lot of things have disappeared over time, look into Tartaria, stuff like that. There's been a pretty big erasure of history as we thought we knew it, to a history that has been constructed for us. And electroculture is part of that. And I think it's pretty neat and fascinating. And I can't deny, I know there's frequency. I can feel it. I have a friend who does biofield tuning, and I've witnessed it. I felt it. Like, it's real. And yeah, there's something to it. So we are going to try it here in the garden. And I'm going to get these two gentlemen, and we're going to talk about what's going on here and what the plan is for my garden. All right. We've got Spence and Steven here, and these guys are going to explain a little bit about what we've got going on.
Yeah, awesome. So we're excited here. I'm Spence. This is my brother Steven from Munis Magica, and we have come together here at our brother Curtis's land to put what we believe to be one of the first electroculture harmonizers in Canada. We know that they have been put up by a man named Slim Sperling for clearing negative energy in the States for some time now. And I've always wanted to build one of these. And when you want to do a collaboration with someone like Curtis Stone, you got to take it to the next level, because he does everything to the nines. So I brought in my brother here, Munis, who is a scalar energy expert, a tensor ring expert. And Munis, I'd love for you to just share how this technology is relevant to all of those freedom farmers and homesteaders out there who are watching this video.
Yeah, peace and love, family, New Earth community. I am Munis Magica. I've been a creator and educator of this technology. We call it tensor technology, and the word tensor is simply a word based on the energy field that is created within these rings. I was at a holistic school in Toronto, Ontario, and I was sitting in massage class, and this woman came and sat beside me, and she gifted me a ring. And at the time, I was looking for the modality that I wanted to do for my incarnation, basically. And she actually showed me videos of this man, Slim Sperling. And so Slim was talking about the energetic field that is related to the Giza pyramid, and he was talking about the vital life force that is existing within these rings. And so right when I heard that, something in me sparked, and I knew that this was the journey that I was going to go on. So I quit the school, started Muna's Magica, and went full tilt in teaching myself how to make this technology. And this is a technology that's a higher form because it's a very high frequency energy that is being emitted and generated by these tools. These are etheric antennas. And so relating to electroculture, there's an ether, there's the unified field that is actually the animating God force or life force that is giving life to life. It's giving life to life. And so when I saw the harmonizer the first time, basically I knew that I wanted to know and learn how to make it. So basically what the harmonizer does is it creates a toroidal field of energy, and a torus is basically vacuuming in negative frequencies or energies and vibrations and transmuting it through the coil, shooting it out the top of the harmonizer, literally an alchemical transmutation device. So collabing with Brother Spence here is he had the idea for this lightning rod. And so if we're going to go big, you know, I thought, why don't we do the galactic wash tub? And what this is there's 3 resonant frequencies that is going on here. We call it the sacred, the lost, and the empowerment qubit, which were the 3 original qubit frequencies that Slim Sperling was utilizing with this technology. So I thought an
What's
ode
a
to
qubit
Slim,
again? What is the qubit again for
a
those who
qubit
don't know?
It's the length of measurement that we cut the twisted wire to precisely to harness a harmonic frequency. So that's the qubit. So when we put it in this orb shape and we put this coil in, we've then activated a toroidal field that's constantly transmuting negative energy, or we could say positive ions, such as these chemtrails in the sky. And we actually now have it hooked up to this lightning rod that's going into Pachamama, who's giving life, her divine electricity, into the harmonizer, constantly transmuting this energy and literally creating a bubble field of light energy, of vital life force that's not only in this homestead, but going further into the mountains, into the community. And you can research Slim Sperling. There's a book called Slim Sperling's Universe. And there's many interviews with him, and he talks about how he was cleaning the air pollution with these devices. And
dropping crime.
It's dropping the crime rate because it raises the consciousness level of anybody who's in this field. So it's miraculous.
So of course, we got the beautiful, like, spiritual, more esoteric take, which I think is a big piece of this electroculture. And we also want to bring it back to a few points that you mentioned here around people, you know, Curtis, lots of freedom farmers, homesteaders out there. So when it comes to designing your electroculture system, there's a few different approaches, but the approach I like to think about is, how do we bring energetic coherence to your garden? Like, we know that Curtis knows what he's doing. Like, you can see the fact he has crops on the side of a freaking mountain. He knows what he's doing. It's already energetically coherent. And when you have good soil, you care about the land, you add something like electroculture, which is honestly just harnessing the electromagnetic field as a limitless, no cost, like it doesn't cost you any money, frequency fertilizer. And this is something that has been known by many ancient civilizations and known by modern, like, recent day man. In the 1920s and the 1930s, they had devices like this all over the world. And in fact, in phase 2 and 3, Curtis, we're going to be back here in the spring to bring some more of this electroculture for Curtis and for all of you who are watching this. But they had this in the 1930s and they were using it. It was an everyday form. Electroculture was just part of how you grew your food. Of course, big chemical, big agriculture, all the control comes in, takes it out, World War I, World War II. 100 years later, now we have the electroculture gardening movement sweeping across the internet. Why? Because it's helping people grow more food with less effort and no chemicals. People are tired of the chemicals. If you're watching this channel, you're probably not growing with it. And people are also tired of endlessly putting in fertilizer. I'm the first one to say, when it comes to electroculture gardening, you still got to put on your organic matter and build your soil and love it. But you add in this exchange, right? The positive electromagnetic field up here, the negative grounding of the earth, you connect it, everything explodes. You're gonna get decreased pest pressure, increased yields, right? Like, it's the sky's the limit. I'm excited for you to watch in the near future when we do follow-up videos, like what actually changes here. But like, this has the potential, I think, to increase yields by like 50 to 100%, at least in like a year or two. So you can quote me on that and we will see. I know those devices that they had in the 1920s and 30s, the Justin Christofoulou devices, they were putting them in Perth, like Australia. You wouldn't know. It was a huge electroculture stronghold, and I actually get emails all the time from Australians. Why? Because they're interested in electroculture, because it's in their history. There were guys in Perth buying, like, maybe not quite, like a little bit more streamlined, but certainly as well thought out, advanced energetically devices for, you know, £6 or something, putting them on in their fields, running them all the way down their fields, full electrification. And they're growing in harsh conditions of Australia, getting 50 to 100% yield increases the first year over the previous year. Or, you know, you do your side-by-side tests, as I say with electroculture, do a lot of tests side by side, see if it works. Well, the strip that was electrified, that had these devices, this is getting 50% to 100% more and looks obviously more health than your drought-ridden crops that's in the non-electrified zone 30, 40, 50 feet to the west or the east. So this works. We're excited. Follow along. There's lots of science out there for those of you who love the science. Just go into it. Just don't come to my inbox, please, and be like, show me the science, Spence, because I'll just show you stuff like this. But there's a lot of research out there for those who want to dive into it. For those of you who may be doctors, engineers, you know, you're into the textbook stuff, there's a lot of that out there. So we can definitely link that up and, yeah, have fun with it. Start with the energetic coherence, then get into your mini systems, right? We can put mini systems here. If you follow my stuff at Frequency Gardening, there's lots of mini systems, but start with the big energetic coherence system, get it working, then permaculture style, right? Then just add one more system, slow and steady. Just keep adding, tweaking. So you see some people and they come to me like, why, Spence, is my garden not growing? And then they have like, they just put a bunch of rods willy-nilly. They don't cut them to cubits. I've been there, I've done that. And then wonder why electroculture doesn't really work. You got to start with the intention, design. Remember, this is a permaculture layer. You got your, you know, you have your sunlight map. Curtis showed us his beautiful maps of the land. You got your topography, how the water flows. Well, you also want to make sure you're mapping how the energy flows and where you're putting these devices, because it does matter if you want to have that energetic coherence go up.
Spence, so maybe we should talk now about, unless there's anything else you guys want to add.
No, you just
okay. Let's just, we don't need to make this video much longer because this is really good. Tell everybody. So this is stage 1. What are we doing in stage 2 and 3?
Right. So now that we've been on the land, we've talked a little bit more. We're thinking that stage 2 and 3, newsflash, Curtis, this is one of the things that they came through and was talking about, is reversing them. So stage 2, obviously we have witnessed a very interesting sky situation over the last little while here, while I've been up here for this site. And what we're going to do is build a full-scale Aether Garden Technologies Moonus Magica cloud buster based in the style of a guy named Don Croft. If you go search him off Google, Don Croft Cloud Buster, you'll see what we mean. And we're going to put it up there on the ridge, and we're going to help create, you know, what we believe as one of the foundational systems of what I call my frequency gardening protection framework. So these are just systems that can help you protect your soil with the geoengineering, with the fallout, the acid rain, all of that kind of stuff, the trade winds bringing this stuff in. And yeah, a lot of technology. There's a guy out there, Wilhelm Reich, 5060s, go research his work. There's a guy named Trevor Constable. He's got great work on this. And what it will do is it will, again, direct those telluric currents that I were talking about up and essentially push away. And in my my capacity, I think it's reducing potential chemtrail fallout by 75%, you know, especially if you got some wind like you do here, it's just going to push it away. And it's cool because, you know, we like, Curtis, you like to have the examples, the Freedom Farmers, we like to have the examples, we like to have the video seeing it. So what we're going to do, once that thing is up in phase 2 and we get what I call the spraying events like this, we're going to time lapse that. Curtis and I will find a good angle when we go up and put it up there, and we're going to time lapse it so all you people can see out there. Search around, get off of some of the mainstream platforms. You'll see videos like this, but you'll be impressed with this cloudbuster, and we'll take you for the journey. And phase 3 is probably looking at bringing the Justin Christofoulou devices that I talked to earlier in the video into, you know, one of these garden plots and do a proper effect, because those devices, I think, have the potential to change farming as we know it. If we install them, man, you just keep running that galvanized wire for, if you're in a flat state, you can run it for miles, right? So that's what we're gonna do. You guys will get it all up here on the mountain, and we're excited for future videos. Thanks to Curtis for having us.
All right, so just when we wrap up, where can they follow you, Spence? Where can they follow you, Stephen?
Yeah, so for me, Instagram and YouTube is where I mainly hang out. The brand is Frequency Gardening, so just at Frequency Gardening, or you can find me on my website, frequencygardening.com. Send me a message if you got questions. I'm happy to answer them.
Cool. Stephen?
I have a website, www.moonasmagica.com. That's Moona with M-O-O-N-A-S, magic with a C-K at the end. And you can find me on Instagram at Moona's Magica. You can find me on YouTube at Moona's Magica. I have a ebook that is out that is spreading around the world. I also have a course that is coming out very soon. By the time you watch this, it'll probably be out. It's a full course on actually how to create this technology. And also I have on YouTube, if you want free tutorials, I have a full free catalog of creating this technology, and a podcast and teach about it there too. So yeah, sending y'all so much love, and big shout outs to brother Curtis for actually, you know, being open to this, because this is a whole new realm of consciousness, and you have to start to get into that more quantum, unseen, energetic realm to really get what brother Spence and I are doing here. And as I said, the last thing is, you know, this is a spiritual warfare going on out here. This is pretty intense, you know, like our skies are being polluted every single day as one example, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we need to join in unity, in community, and we need to start to implement these technologies and really break away from this old system of domination, enslavement, manipulation, and control, and come into harmony with each other. So peace and love, family.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. And I'll have all your links in the show notes for folks.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. And I'll keep you guys posted. So this project will be stretching out, you know, over years, really. But this is the first leg of the journey. And I think these guys might be making a couple other smaller devices to go here too. So I'll keep you updated with that. All right, folks. If you like this one, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.